Hey, my friends, let's talk about outward indicators that you may be a prepper. And I'm saying may because this does not include everyone by any means. So please, in the comment section, just acknowledge that right up front that I'm not saying that everybody falls under these stereotypes. So let's start with the list concerning the home front. A lot of people, they kind of expect a prepper to have some type of power generation capability. So some kind of generator of some sort. It could be a gas generator or a solar powered system or maybe a wind turbine. They also expect to have like different means to provide calories and nutrition for themselves. So like livestock and multiple gardens. It would definitely be kind of something that you would probably see for the most part. And also having water sources, so like some kind of pond or to be close to a big lake or river, to have at least a stream coming through their property, to have multiple cisterns, to have rain barrels coming off of their gutters, or at least have maybe some type of well or multiple wells. They would also expect probably to see some type of off-road vehicle or tractor. And I talked to a lot of people, and this one came up, which I thought was interesting, is fenced-in properties and also the entranceways to the home to be more reinforced than just the typical home. And I would agree with that. So there's a lot more mindfulness in the preparedness groups and preparedness living about home defense. And also, there's also a very big stereotype concerning preppers live in rural areas. Now, we can take that list and totally shred that apart, and in terms of factual, inferences. But that's a good indicator for the masses of kind of, oh, that's a prepper. But we know that there's a lot of preppers that live in urban areas. That's just a fact. I know quite a few of them myself, and we know that not everybody can even afford a fence to go around their entire property, because sometimes, properties are pretty large. Like I could never afford my property to be fenced in. It's just too large. And, off-road vehicles, not everybody can afford that either. And not everybody lives in areas that have gutters. So, there's no rain barrels there. And once again, maybe there's just no pond or lake nearby. Maybe you live in an area that, there's just no water below. You can dig for a well, but there's no water going to be available. Gardens, that is pretty common. So I'll give that. And livestock, it's not that uncommon as well. And of course, I think it does make sense to think about the solar or other means to generate power. So I think that's pretty solid as well. So, that's how I think a lot of people look at preppers and on the home front. What about on their person? Now, this is where it kind of gets a little tricky because there's a lot of various fashion, styles that come and go. There's a lot of trends. That's a good word, trends that come and go in some parts of the U.S. right now. And I've also heard over in Europe that certain types of camouflage is kind of becoming pretty trendy right now. But what you can tell if you have an eye for it and if you know the difference, and I think a lot of us preppers do know. I mean, I'm pretty up on some of this here, but real military fatigues really do look a lot different than civilian camouflage clothing. It's just a big difference. There's a lot of style differences in clothing and material type of differences. So to me, it's pretty much like night and day. But to the average person, though, they may, group you in if they see you wear some type of military styling, clothing or accessory. But I'm just going to jump into this list. So boonie hats or some type of military looking hat, a bandana, especially if it's some kind of like military styled bandana or has some kind of camouflage on it and you're wearing it around your neck. A lot of people think that's a very prepper like activity. Also, I've talked to a lot of people that said, hey, if you wear like a blacked out watch or a military style watch, or even a watch that has military colors or it's camouflage, you could probably maybe convince some people that you're a prepper. I was like, that's fair enough. What about tactical pins? I don't know anybody that is a non-prepper that even owns a tactical pin. So there might be something to that, even though I know a lot of preppers that own them but never use them. So that's that. What about nylon webbing products? I see a lot of preppers, they do wear that. Not so much in public, but they do use it, from time to time when they go like hunting, or even if they want to wear something on their belt. A lot of people use nylon belts. And I have some 511 brand nylon belts, and they're really nice. But it's like, when I think about it, people that I know that are not into being prepared, they don't own those kind of belts. So that could be true. What about pocket knives? Well, there's a lot of people that carry pocket knives that aren't preppers. But it is an indicator that you could be a prepper, because everybody that I know that's a prepper, they carry a knife, and they typically have a knife clipped to their pocket or a multi-tool clipped to their pocket for quick, and efficient access. So it definitely could be an indicator, and it probably is for the most part. Also, we look at not just tactical clothing, but military style boots. So that's definitely another thing, and that's going to be quite different than work boots. A lot of people think that they're the same, but if you actually look at them, they're very different in lots of ways. So yeah, military style boots. And going back though to that tactical clothing, we're talking about even civilian branded stuff. So we're not even talking about like military fatigues here. We're talking about, like, once again, we'll just grab a brand that's really well known, like 511. They have a whole clothing line, but they have pants, for example, that have specialized pockets and all kind of things that, upon closer inspection, they're very different than like cargo pants you can buy at Walmart, for example. Paracord wristbands. To me, it's becoming more of a trend. It's just something a lot of people are wearing, that even if you're not even a prepper. But I will have to say, though, a lot of preppers do wear them. So I think that there's still a very high likelihood, and it is an indicator that you could be a prepper if you're wearing those. I prefer the whole title of wristband over survival bracelet. To me, wristband sounds better. What about like some kind of tactical flashlight? I definitely think that it can be an indicator. Definitely so, because civilians that I know of that are not into preparedness, they're not really aware of the higher end flashlights that are out there. It's just the truth. I have really pretty much not really known anybody that knew of any lights that they typically were in that genre of military styling or tactical styling. Most people that are not into preparedness, they think that mag lights are pretty much the top of the heap. And those in the know that they're good lights, but they're really not that advanced compared to other types of lights out there. The advancements are really quite beyond mag light. The next thing is like a more tactical wallet. And it kind of goes back to the nylon products that we were talking about earlier. But for example, if you pull out like a tactical looking, Maxpedition wallet, to me, that's going to say, hey, that's pretty much a prepper thing. I don't know pretty much almost anybody that's carrying a Maxpedition wallet that isn't into preparedness or at least the outdoor sports. And so that's an indicator. It may not be 100%, but that's definitely an indicator to me. And lastly, the things on your person that could indicate that you are a prepper is if you have some type of like NRA logoed, or some type of sportsman club logo on your clothing or on your person. That's going to be kind of a dead giveaway. Once again, not every NRA member is into prepping. I would say that that's the truth, but a lot of people who are into firearms and sporting type of activities are into preparation. They just have that mindset. And the same thing goes for your vehicle. If your vehicle is like this big standout vehicle that has, off-road capabilities, and it has this big Rebel flag or NRA big bumper stickers and all this stuff, there's a lot of people who are just kind of default and say, oh, that's just a survivalist or a prepper or some kind of crazy person. So, there's a lot of stereotypes when it comes to that stuff. Of course, you and I know that the best way to go about it is not to put an NRA sticker, if you are a member, on your vehicle. You don't want to advertise that you have guns, or you possibly could have guns in your vehicle, or you carry a gun on your person. You don't want to stand out in the crowd. You want to drive a very ordinary vehicle. Even if your vehicle has four-wheel drive, you don't want to really advertise it. I would even go so far to take off any indicator on your vehicle that it says that it's four-wheel drive. That's just what I would do. And basically just make it more bland. Make it so that people, when they look at it, they're like, it's just another car or truck, whoopee-doo. But maybe inside that vehicle, it could be modified and have special features and have special gear, but no one would be the wiser. So that's the way I would go about it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the list here of outward indicators that may indicate that you might be a prepper.